Hi, Luli and Annie. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Girls, today we're going to learn about vertebrates and their life cycle. Okay. I know that we have learned about a lot of life cycles this bimester, but we're doing it. You're learning more, and some of them are really similar. Okay. So, I'm sorry if you see here my little friend. It's one of Alana's puppets. I'm just recording in my room today. Okay. Um, Okay, so for the introduction today, animals that have backbones, like the ones that you have on your back, are called vertebrates, okay? The backbones of vertebrates are connected to other bones that protect the organs of the animal's body. Like this picture here, this is the skeleton of a dog. And here it shows how the skull protects the brain, or the rib cage protects the hearts and the lungs, okay? The bones also help to give the vertebrates shape. They hold them up, okay? There are about 40,000 different kinds of vertebrates in the world. And examples of vertebrates can be salmon, frogs, box turtles, robins, wolf. And all of the animals that I just said, they fit into 5 different categories of vertebrates, okay? So those categories are fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, okay? For example, fish can be a salmon, a goldfish, okay? Amphibians, like this one here, a frog, a salamander, and then you have reptiles, crocodiles, snakes, turtles, birds like pigeons, robins, and mammals, wolves, cats. You are a mammal. For the vocabulary today, we have the word amphibian, amphibio. It's an animal that lives parts of its life inland and then other part in water. Then we have a reptile. It's an animal that either crawls or creeps, that they have shells or other have scales, like my friend here, the crocodile. For example, turtles, snakes, lizards are reptiles. And then we have the word salmon. Oh, sorry, let me fix my picture. Okay. So they are large fish that you can find in the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean, and they have something peculiar about them, that they return to the same river where they were born to reproduce. Okay, and we're going to talk about the life stages of or life cycles of vertebrates. And as you have already guessed, there's always pretty much the same life stages: beginning stage, growth stage, adult stage, and old age and death. Okay, so it's kind of logical. Okay, so vertebrates go through stages of life. Okay, um, beginning, growth, adulthood, and old age and death. Okay, um, and the events in each stage may be different for different types of vertebrates, but are pretty much the same. Okay, so all vertebrates begin their lives as fertilized egg cells. Okay, so we kind of all start from an egg, but a really, really tiny one inside a cell. Okay, many of these fertilized eggs develop covers, something that covers them. And those covered eggs are laid and hatch outside the body of the female, but some other eggs need to be protected and warmed by the parents, and other types of vertebrate eggs are placed by the parents in a safe location, okay? But then there's another really big group of vertebrates that don't lay fertilized egg. The new life is developed inside the female's body. When the baby is ready, it leaves the female's body. This is called being born instead of being hatched. Like what happens, for example, with a human baby or with a dog baby, a puppy. Okay, and here I show you a picture of 2 different kinds of vertebrates. Here is the progression of how a puppy develops in the womb, like from like a tiny egg cell, and then it starts growing into through an embryo until it's born like a tiny puppy. And then this is a puppy inside a womb. And this is a picture of an egg, a fertilized egg from a chicken, and how it develops. Okay. Now we go to the next page. Okay, and then we have the growth stage. So after the egg cell is fertilized, it develops through mitosis into an embryo. For some vertebrates, the embryo develops inside an egg cover, if you're a vertebrate that lays eggs. And some of these cells have developed into a yolk. The embryo uses the yolk as its food. Yolk means yema del huevo. Other vertebrates develop inside the mother's body. And the embryo inside the mother's body gets its food from the mother's bloodstream, okay? So they eat from the blood of the mom, okay? After the new vertebrate is hatched or born, it takes food by mouth, okay? Vertebrates have mouth. Some are able to get their own food and other needs their parents to feed them. Vertebrates don't go through a nymph or pupa form. Only a few species of vertebrates have a larva stage, like the frog here, that the larva stage would be the tadpole, el renacuajo. And most vertebrates are not exact copies of its parent at birth. They may be similar to the parents, and then they make small changes. They make small changes as they grow. Okay, and here I put a picture of like small vertebrates when they're like in their growing stage, like small dog or a chick. And to keep talking about the growth stage, large vertebrates take several years to get through the growth stage, but smaller ones take less than a year to reach adulthood, okay? And also the growth stage, pretty much like children in humans, it's also a time of learning to find the right food, to protect themselves, and to function as adults. And here is a really cute picture of a dog. Looks like my own dog, Scotty. And you can see how they are like, this is like at 1 month, this is 3 months, 6 months, and this is like how they look at 9, and still has some growing to do. And then we have the adult stage, okay? And remember like what we learned with plants, like what we learned with invertebrates. When a vertebrate is considered an adult, it can reproduce, it can have offspring, it can have babies. Usually they can have offspring before they're fully grown, but they have to be adults. But it's when their reproductive organs mature, when they're ready, and then mating can take place between male and female. Most are able to reproduce many times during their adulthood. Some reproduce only once before they die, or they can lay only one or few eggs. Others can reproduce many times or produce thousands of eggs during each reproduction. It depends on what animal are we talking about. Okay, and then we have the last stage, old age and death. So most vertebrates, when they start getting old, they grow weak in their bodies. Then their body has to develop many problems. They can't fight off disease as well, and then the animals die. I know it's sad, but it's part of that cycle of life. Some vertebrates die shortly after they reproduce, and then the life cycle comes to an end with old age and death. Okay, girls, that would be it for the day.